Today we got something pretty interesting to take a look at. No, this is not one of those two-player Pandora box arcade stick type things. It's similar, but it does some things differently, and it's not a Pandora box. This is an Android-based system. Today we're going to be taking a look at the K-Play Upgrade Retro Arcade. This is a multi-purpose game console. Now, PloyLab.com did send this out to me for purpose of review. They are not the manufacturers of this device. I looked up the company. The K in the K-Play stands for Keku, I believe. They have a few different devices out there. This one's up for pre-order right now on PloyLab. It's their newest offering. They do have another two-player arcade stick that is a little different than this one. I think we'll be taking a look at that one in another video in the very near future. But this one, with it being a multi-purpose game console, found it pretty interesting. It is Android-based. Now, as far as the actual system that's built into it, I'll take a look at that in a moment, show you guys some pictures of the board and the internals of this stick. But I found this pretty interesting, the way they designed this. Definitely setting themselves apart from the pack, doing things a little different. Their design doesn't scream that generic Pandora box arcade stick thing where you always have like a Street Fighter character or King of Fighters character on there, and it's just very cheap quality. This actually is pretty decent, I think, as far as the build quality, the plastics that are being used. Now, as far as the buttons go and the joystick, if I were to rate those out of 10, I would probably give them about a 6, 6.5. Not premium parts by any means, but they do feel decent. They're all right, not bottom of the barrel, somewhere around the middle, average, around that. They work just fine. Have to point that out. Now, the one cool thing with this device is that it does break in half, so you could have two single-player sticks. Why would you want that? Why would you need that? Well, with the multi-purpose part of this device can be used as an arcade stick for other platforms, PlayStation 3 or 4, the Xbox One, PC, other Android devices. It does have some other uses. It's an arcade stick, not just a console. Found that kind of neat. Now, they do point out on the website that it can work with the Switch, and I even looked at the main website, the K-Play website, to see if there was a tutorial how to get this to work, because I tested it on various devices, no problem. It's actually a switch in the bottom of the system that allows you to swap between modes, so I thought that was pretty cool. Very similar to the way like the Neo Geo Arcade Stick Pro is, but this does have some, other things going on for it. Now, trying to sync this up to the Switch, the video clip I'm showing is just kind of a reenactment because I tried over and over and over again before I even recorded this video to get it to work for the Nintendo Switch, and it just won't work. I looked at the K-Play website, and I didn't really even see them use it on the Switch. It just kind of looked like they did. Can't confirm it. Can't confirm that it works for the Switch because I cannot get it to work. But other platforms it does. So you can break this thing in half, attach those other side panels to it, and then you got two separate arcade sticks. Pretty neat. You could link them together with the cable underneath, and you got a two-player in one stick that you could plug into a TV and play games that are built into it or that you've downloaded, so on and so forth. But I thought it was neat that you could break it apart and have two single-player sticks of decent quality in my opinion, for the price of this thing anyway, from what I'm looking at. It's around $250. Now, as far as what's built into this thing, with it being an Android-based system, I had to tear this thing down and take a look at the chipset because I am not finding specs anywhere. Now, this is very, very low end as far as an Android box goes. Sure, you're going to be able to play a lot of retro games, some Android-based stuff as well, just fine. Video's going to be okay, all that good stuff. If you actually want to just download applications and whatnot, you'll have an okay time with some basic stuff, but more demanding games, just not going to work. We have 1 gig of RAM. Or no, we don't have 1 gig. We have 2 gigs of RAM. Correction, 2 gigs of RAM here. So we have an Amlogic S905W quad-core processor. So it's a little older. It's very weak. Gets the job done for some basic stuff. but you got to keep those expectations in check. I messed around with some of the built-in games that are included on this device, some of the Android stuff as well, like the Hungry Shark and all that crap. I mean, played okay. Now playing some old school stuff on emulators. It does have a bunch of games built in, several hundred. That's a bunch to me, but some people, that may not be a lot. But it has a few hundred arcade games and very varying. Some of them played just fine. Some of them were a little sluggish, if you will. Now, it does have that Happy Chick Chinese application built into it. And I've used this plenty of times on various devices. But on this particular device, I don't know if there's just something wrong with the Happy Chick app or if something has changed with it. Not 100%. Could be just an older version. Things could just have been pulled down. I don't know, but whenever I go through it to download a game, some games, it'll just give me an error, will not allow me to download it. Some games I can download, but then when I try to, start them up and play them, I get an error in Chinese, pretty much just telling me that there was an error and I can't play the damn game. So have to point that out. That Happy Chick app, I never really cared for it. Any device that I've got that had that built into it, I typically would just wipe it and use RetroArch or something else. So yeah, with this device, would you really want to use any of the game stuff built in, the retro arcade stuff, the Happy Chick stuff? To me, no, not really, because we don't have that many options to begin with like the retro arcade stuff that they have on here with that little shell and user interface that they have set up. There's no options for like aspect ratio and all that good stuff. So I would much prefer to load up my own stuff. But with this video, I just wanted to take a look at what's shipped to you and, see how this thing performs with all that. Yeah, you can expand it and do all this other stuff and have a better time than what is built in, for the base user experience here. But yeah, I mean, kind of mixed with all the things going on with this device. A little disappointing that I couldn't get it to work with the Nintendo Switch. But overall, I think this device, it's something going in the right direction for these companies coming out of China with these two-player sticks, like getting away from that Pandora box, like grind. Overall, I think this is a very unique and interesting device that just misses the mark on a few things, namely the specifications behind the board that they used on this device. It's very underpowered, in my opinion. And for the price that we're expected to pay for this thing, I mean, we need that performance. We need that compatibility. We're supposed to be able to add our own games to this thing, download applications. To get the most out of this, we need more than what they've provided with this old board that's built into it. The overall design, the functionality with the whole breaking it in half, having two arcade sticks, being able to use it on other devices is pretty cool, in my opinion. I'd like to see more companies kind of deviate away from the typical Pandora Soldier Boy box type thing out there. Sure, this still has some of that going for it. Ain't gonna lie here. But it's a little different than, what I'm used to seeing. It's kind of refreshing to see something unique like this. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested, take a look. I'll have a link in the description. Some people may find some, happiness, some joy out of a device like this. Just keep your expectations in check on what it actually can and cannot do. The company has said, hey, we're going to be doing updates and all that good stuff. Now, I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard a company saying we're going to do updates and fix things and add features and whatnot, and then just nothing ever comes of it. I cannot vouch for this company, so you got to keep that kind of stuff in mind. This is only on Android 7.1, I believe it was. Fairly old build of Android, so yeah, I mean, what are you guys doing here? Should have put the latest and greatest stuff in here for the price you're charging. But hey guys, really do appreciate you hanging out with me on this one. Thank you. And with that said, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom. Bye.